Creativity is an overrated scam. It would seem that everyone has been deceived by those who lack skill, making you believe that creativity is some sort of consistent standard for quality.
But in my research of narrative theory,
I have found the truth contradicts the consensus. Artists, especially writers, should not rely only on their creativity to carry their work.
well, if they desire to make quality works, that is.
You see, while the novelty of a work can make the audience perceive a subpar work as good, that illusion only lasts for a small period of time. By relying on the originality of a work, you automatically put a clock on your story, rapidly ticking down to its death. And I can think of no better example of this
Then Elfen Lied.
If I had to sum up my feelings about that series, it would be
Creatively bad.
at least it was creative at the time. Now there is a dime a dozen copies that are just as bad, if not somehow worse, which completely strips it of all the praise it once held. You see, while Elfen Lied was creative for its time, it lacked
Everything else.
that makes a story good. It had no themes, no character arcs, no dimension, no deeper nature, no subtext, no dilemma, or really any good technique. Because it is not novelty that makes an artistic work good, but the underlying technique of it. While the originality of a work is relative to the time, technique is not. In fact, to this day, masterpieces are still being written using techniques that were conceived
Hundreds of years ago.
now, I don't want you coming away from this video thinking that creativity is bad, because it's not, and calling it a scam is only somewhat accurate. I label it as such because of the enormous emphasis on originality that everyone places on artists, and how needlessly restrictive this so-called standard is. Now, I'm not saying it's okay to copy someone else's work. Your work should be
Your work, not anyone else's.
here. You know what? To prove my point, let's look at the Mona Lisa. It is a portrait of a woman. Hardly a creative idea for a painting, especially for the time. Yet, it still is held in such high regard even after all this time.
Why?
Because of the excellent craftsmanship that went into the piece. It is technique that stands the test of time, not creativity. But it is tough to deny that originality does give quite the boost when it comes to the short term,
As of course, seen in Elfen Lied.
leaving a good impression on its viewers around the time that it came out, despite its shortcomings. My point is, we should not hold creativity to such high regard, but outright abandoning it would be nothing short of a mistake.
This video is simply a reminder
That an artist should always value technique over creativity. And for those of you who want to have both, I placed a video teaching you how to do that on screen. Go ahead and click it right now. I promise you won't regret it. Seriously. And actually, you'll regret not clicking it in the first place. Do it now.